Eating eggs with coffee. After 60, what happens to your body? What if your morning breakfast isn't just about what you eat, but also about what you eat alongside your coffee? If you're over 60, and your usual morning looks something like this, you wake up, make your coffee, and eat 1 or 2 eggs. You may have wondered whether that combination is actually good for your body. Does coffee interfere with the nutrients in eggs? Does eating eggs before or with coffee change digestion? Could this combination affect your energy, blood pressure, heart, or even how satisfied you feel throughout the morning? And what actually happens inside your body during the first hour? Because you've probably heard conflicting advice. Some people say coffee should never be taken with eggs. Others say eggs and coffee are the perfect breakfast. And then there are claims online suggesting that this combination can either damage your heart or dramatically improve your health. But the truth is much more interesting. There is no magical reaction between an egg and a cup of coffee. But there are things worth understanding about caffeine, protein, digestion, appetite, hydration, and your individual health. So today, we're going to follow what happens when you eat eggs with coffee after 60 and separate the facts from the myths. But before we start the clock, if you're over 60 and you want simple, science-based information about protecting your heart, brain, energy, and healthy aging, click on subscribe button. And if this video gives you useful information, tap the like button. It helps this channel reach more people who need practical health information. Now, let's start the clock. 0 to 10 minutes. Coffee starts working before the eggs. Do you take your first sip of coffee? You take a bite of boiled egg, and your body begins handling 2 very different things. The egg provides protein, fat, choline, vitamins, and minerals. The coffee provides caffeine and other compounds. But here's something important. Your brain doesn't suddenly receive the nutrients from the egg the second you swallow it. Digestion takes time. The egg has to move through your digestive system. Proteins need to be broken down. Nutrients need to become available for absorption. Coffee, meanwhile, is already beginning to interact with your body. For many people, caffeine can increase alertness and make them feel more awake. And that's one reason coffee has become such a powerful part of the morning routine. But there's a catch. Some people are much more sensitive to caffeine than others. After 60, you may notice that coffee doesn't affect you the same way it did when you were 30. Maybe 1 cup feels stronger. Maybe you become jittery. Maybe you notice your heart beating faster. Or maybe you drink coffee every morning and feel perfectly fine. That's why the question isn't simply, is coffee good or bad? The better question is, how does coffee affect you? And that's going to become important as we move through the morning. 10 to 20 minutes, your digestive system gets to work. Now your stomach is working on the egg. The protein is being broken down into smaller components that your body can eventually use. And this is where eggs can be useful. Protein provides amino acids that your body needs for maintaining and repairing tissues. After 60, this becomes particularly important because maintaining muscle becomes increasingly important as we age. But don't make the mistake of thinking the egg has to be eaten with coffee to make this happen. It doesn't. Coffee isn't unlocking some hidden protein effect. The egg is providing the nutrients. The coffee is providing caffeine and other compounds. They're simply being consumed during the same meal. And for most healthy adults, there's no reason to believe that drinking coffee with eggs creates some harmful chemical reaction inside your stomach. But there is something else to consider. What are you putting in the coffee? Because this is where the breakfast can change dramatically. Black coffee is one thing. Coffee loaded with several teaspoons of sugar, heavy cream, sweetened syrups, or other high-calorie additions is another. So sometimes the problem isn't the coffee itself. It's everything that gets added to it. 20 to 30 minutes, your appetite may start telling a different story. Now let's talk about something many people over 60 care about. How hungry will you feel later? Eggs are a protein-rich food, and protein can contribute to feelings of fullness. That means a breakfast containing eggs may help some people stay satisfied longer. Compare that with starting the morning with a sugary drink and a highly refined breakfast. You may get energy quickly, but you may also find yourself hungry again sooner. That doesn't mean eggs are a weight loss food. And it doesn't mean coffee burns away belly fat. Those claims go too far. Your weight is influenced by your overall food intake, activity, sleep, hormones, medications, and many other factors. But building a breakfast around protein and other nutritious foods can be a sensible part of a balanced eating pattern. And coffee may make the morning feel easier because caffeine can temporarily increase alertness. That's why some people feel like they can function after coffee even when they haven't eaten. But feeling awake isn't the same thing as being properly nourished. Coffee can make you feel alert. It doesn't replace a nutritious meal. And that's an important distinction. 30 to 45 minutes. What about your heart? Now we get to one of the biggest questions. What happens to your heart? Coffee can temporarily affect blood pressure and heart rate in some people, especially those who are sensitive to caffeine or aren't accustomed to it. So if you've been told you have blood pressure concerns, or you notice that coffee makes you feel uncomfortable, don't simply assume that more coffee is better. Pay attention to your body's response and follow the advice of your healthcare professional. But here's what you shouldn't do. Don't automatically blame the eggs. And don't automatically blame the coffee. Look at the entire morning routine. Are you eating a balanced breakfast? Are you drinking enough fluids? Are you getting enough fiber? Are you consuming excessive sugar? Are you drinking several cups of very strong coffee? Are you getting enough sleep? Because your cardiovascular health isn't determined by one breakfast. It's shaped by patterns, and this is one of the most important lessons I want you to remember. Healthy aging doesn't come from finding one perfect food. It comes from making many reasonable choices repeatedly. 45 to 60 minutes, the nutrients are still being processed. By now, you may feel more awake. You may feel satisfied. You may feel exactly the same as you normally do. And all three can be completely normal. There is no universal 60-minute moment when eggs and coffee suddenly transform your body. Your digestive system doesn't work according to a stopwatch. The nutrients from the egg continue moving through the digestive process. Your body is breaking down and absorbing what it can use. And your coffee's caffeine is continuing to affect your nervous system. But here's the interesting part. If you normally drink coffee by itself, and then suddenly start having eggs with it, you may notice that your morning feels different simply because you're no longer starting the day with caffeine alone. You're giving your body actual food, protein, fat, micronutrients, and energy. That doesn't make the combination magical. It simply makes the overall routine potentially more nourishing. And that distinction matters. So, should you eat eggs with coffee after 60? For many people, eggs and coffee can absolutely be part of the same breakfast. You don't have to separate them by an hour. You don't have to wait for your stomach to be completely empty. And you don't need to believe that coffee somehow destroys all the nutrients in your eggs. Instead, think about the quality of the entire breakfast. 2 boiled eggs, a serving of vegetables or fruit, perhaps some whole grain toast, and your coffee, prepared in a way that works for your nutritional needs. That's a very different breakfast from coffee loaded with sugar, processed meat, refined bread, and several other highly processed foods. The difference isn't simply the egg, it's the pattern. One thing you should watch: your personal response to coffee. There is one part of this conversation that I don't want you to ignore. Your tolerance for caffeine is personal. Some people can drink coffee in the morning and sleep perfectly well that night. Others drink 1 cup early in the day and still notice the effects hours later. And sleep becomes extremely important as we age. If coffee is interfering with your sleep, causing unpleasant symptoms, or making you feel unusually anxious or uncomfortable, that's something worth discussing with your healthcare professional. You don't need to prove that you're a real coffee drinker. Your health comes first. And if you're taking medications or have a medical condition that affects how you respond to caffeine, follow your clinician's advice rather than copying someone else's routine online. The bigger lesson. So let's come back to the question. The honest answer is not dramatic. Your egg provides protein and a range of nutrients. Your coffee provides caffeine and other compounds. Your digestive system processes the food. Your body absorbs and uses nutrients over time, and caffeine can increase alertness while affecting people differently. There is no magical egg and coffee reaction. There is no scientifically established 60-minute transformation. And you don't need one. Because the real goal isn't to find a breakfast that changes your body overnight. The goal is to create a breakfast that supports the way you want to live for years. That's a much more powerful idea. Your muscles need protein regularly. Your brain needs adequate nutrition. Your heart benefits from an overall healthy lifestyle. Your body needs movement. Your body needs sleep. And your health is influenced by what you repeatedly do. Not one cup of coffee. Not one egg. Not one breakfast. Your morning routine matters more than the magic claim. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up and reach for your coffee, don't ask, is coffee with eggs going to transform my body? Ask, does this breakfast help me build the kind of routine I can maintain? If you enjoy eggs, they can be part of that routine. If you enjoy coffee, you may not need to give it up simply because you're over 60. But pay attention to how your body responds. Keep added sugar reasonable. Build a balanced meal. Don't rely on coffee to replace food. And don't believe every dramatic health claim you see online. Because sometimes the healthiest answer is also the simplest one. You don't need a miracle combination. You need a sustainable routine. And that is something you can build one morning at a time. If this video helped you understand eggs and coffee differently, tap the like button so I know you want more videos like this. And if you're new here, subscribe to Healthy Living. We talk about simple, practical health information for adults over 60, without the fear, hype, or miracle promises. Now I want to hear from you. Do you eat eggs with your morning coffee? Type eggs plus coffee in the comments if that's your usual breakfast. And tell me, do you drink your coffee before your eggs, after your eggs, or at the same time? Your answer could help someone else watching this video. And if you know someone over 60 who starts every morning with coffee and eggs, send this video to them. Because they don't need another scary health claim, they need clear information. Remember, your body doesn't need a perfect breakfast. It needs good choices, repeated consistently. And sometimes, that can start with something as simple as an egg, a balanced meal, and a cup of coffee you actually enjoy.